world wasn't ready for what was coming. Cameras all over the planet were pointed toward the sky, their lenses trembling as they tried to capture the single most powerful being alive. News anchors, scientists, and military generals stood by their screens in disbelief, unsure whether to pray or panic. Superman wasn't fighting anyone this time. He wasn't defending the Earth or saving lives from disaster. Today, he was testing something far more dangerous: himself. Not a simulation, not a mission, but the ultimate experiment, unleashing 100% of his power. For years, the question had haunted every corner of the internet. What would happen if Superman ever stopped holding back? He had fought gods, machines, and monsters, yet he always restrained himself. Every punch was measured, every breath controlled. Even his heat vision, bright enough to vaporize mountains, was never used at full intensity. But now something had changed. For the first time, Kal-El wasn't bound by fear of consequence. He had decided to go all in, to discover what he really was when every limit was stripped away. The world's governments didn't approve this test. They couldn't. But how do you stop a being who could move faster than the thought of resistance itself? The project began in secret, far above the stratosphere, beyond the reach of satellites. Still, the energy ripples from Superman's aura could be felt across continents. Compasses spun in chaos, radio signals glitched, and magnetic fields bent like threads around a storm. People on Earth could sense it before they even knew it. Something cosmic was shifting. Superman hovered above a patch of endless void, just outside Earth's orbit. The sunlight rippled across his suit, glowing brighter than ever before. His heartbeat echoed like a drum of creation, steady but thunderous. The air, if you could still call it that, around him began to ionize. A faint pulse of energy moved outward in every direction. Scientists monitoring the event from a secret station on the moon watched as their instruments overloaded. Their lead astrophysicist muttered that what they were reading didn't make sense. Superman's body was beginning to distort local space-time. Meanwhile, down on Earth, a crowd had gathered outside Metropolis. Giant screens replayed the feed from the satellite cameras. Some prayed, some cheered. Others feared this was the end of the world disguised as an experiment. Children held up handmade signs that read, "We trust you, Superman." He had always been their protector, but what if even he couldn't control this? What if power itself refused to be tamed? The countdown began, not from Superman, but from a single AI satellite orbiting beside him, designed by Bruce Wayne. Batman wasn't there physically, but his presence could be felt through every line of code. He'd told Clark before this test began, "If you cross the line where control ends, we all end." Superman only nodded. "Then it's a line worth knowing." The satellite voice echoed through the comm link. "Energy calibration complete. Solar absorption rate at 100%. All systems nominal. Superman, proceed when ready." And then, silence. No fanfare, no dramatic words, just a breath, calm and deliberate. Superman closed his eyes, and in that instant, his mind opened wider than any humans could comprehend. He wasn't just feeling the power within him, he was becoming it. His molecules vibrated faster, merging with the solar radiation that had sustained him since childhood. On Earth, auroras burst across the skies of countries that never had them before. Birds scattered mid-flight, and oceans trembled like a living pulse beneath the moonlight. Every sensor known to man started screaming data no one could interpret. Superman's power output was now equivalent to the combined energy of the planet's core. Rising still, the first shockwave hit 30 seconds later. It wasn't destructive, not yet, but it changed physics itself. Light slowed, then warped, then fragmented like shattered glass. The people watching saw something no human eye was ever meant to see. A blur of color that wasn't color, emotion that wasn't movement. Superman's outline became unstable. His body was half in reality, half in something else. In the control station, Bruce stared at the monitors. "He's breaching dimensional integrity," he said under his breath. "This isn't power, it's rewriting existence." Superman opened his eyes. They weren't blue anymore. They were white, blazing with energy so pure it had no spectrum. He whispered to himself, "I can see everything." His voice carried across comms even through the interference. Atoms, thoughts, time, it's all connected, and it's all fragile. For the first time, Superman wasn't just seeing the world, he was seeing how the world existed. Every heartbeat on Earth, every atomic bond, every photon bouncing through space, they all glowed in his vision like threads of a vast cosmic web. He could touch them, bend them, even unmake them. But then came the fear, not for himself, but for what he might do accidentally. The mere thought of releasing that power caused cracks to appear in reality. From orbit, astronauts reported seeing lightning storms erupt in the vacuum of space. The International Space Station was forced to shut down its systems to avoid complete overload. The moon's surface began to vibrate from gravitational fluctuations that shouldn't have been possible. Back on Earth, Lex Luthor watched from his private lab, his face pale but fascinated. "He's transcending his own biology," he muttered. "Becoming energy itself. This is the singularity of power, and humanity's end if he loses focus." Superman spoke again, his voice echoing through the planet's ionosphere. "I feel it. The balance. One wrong breath, and I could ignite the atmosphere." The tension was unbearable. Billions held their breath without realizing it. Then something unexpected happened. The energy around Superman began to stabilize. The chaos turned into harmony, and the blinding light softened into a calm, celestial glow. It was as if he had reached perfect equilibrium between godhood and humanity. The world began to exhale. Maybe he could handle it after all. Maybe the universe itself was adapting to him. But just as that thought crossed the minds of those watching, a thin crack appeared in the fabric of space right behind him. It looked small, harmless even, like a ripple in a pond. But Superman's expression changed instantly. His voice, calm yet grave, filled every communication channel. "Something's wrong. Reality is responding." The crack widened. From it came a distortion unlike anything ever recorded. Space twisted inward, colors inverted, and for a split second, every living being on Earth experienced the same sensation. Their reflection flickered, as though the universe blinked. Alarms blared in the lunar base. "He's destabilizing quantum layers," shouted a scientist. "The test isn't just affecting him, it's affecting the multiverse." Superman's breathing grew heavier. The light from his eyes flared again, but this time it wasn't controlled. It surged outward, turning satellites into molten fragments. The nearby AI probe melted before it could transmit another reading. Bruce Wayne's voice cut through the static. "Clark, shut it down. You're tearing reality apart." Superman clenched his fists. "I can't stop it," he said through gritted teeth. "It's not just energy anymore. It's me. Every thought I have becomes real. Every emotion reshapes space." Earth's atmosphere began to glow faintly red, as though reflecting his turmoil. Volcanoes stirred, tectonic plates shifted slightly, and time itself slowed near the poles. The impossible was happening. Superman's full power wasn't just a force, it was a language that the universe didn't understand, and it was trying to fight back. The distortion behind Superman expanded like a wound tearing open across the sky. The more he tried to contain it, the more violently it resisted. His energy waves clashed with the raw chaos of space-time, creating thunder without sound and light without color. Every attempt to suppress the surge only made the fabric of reality scream louder, as if existence itself was allergic to this level of power. On Earth, the global power grids began to flicker. City lights pulsed in rhythm with Superman's heartbeat. In Tokyo, skyscrapers vibrated like tuning forks. In New York, people could see ghostly images of themselves lagging a split second behind their own movements. Time echoes, byproducts of the quantum disturbance rippling through the planet. The world wasn't breaking yet, but it was trembling on the edge of comprehension. Superman gritted his teeth and focused. The solar radiation coursing through him was infinite, but so was the strain. His cells weren't designed for this. They were evolving on the spot, mutating to handle forces older than creation. He clenched his fists, channeling everything inward. "You will not break," he said softly. Not to the universe, but to himself. Down in the Batcave, Bruce watched the energy readings spiral beyond measurable limits. He's absorbing cosmic radiation faster than any system can track, he muttered. If he keeps going, we'll lose relativity itself. Time could fold. Can't you stop him? Asked Diana, standing behind him with her golden lasso glowing faintly, reacting to the disturbance. Bruce shook his head. He's beyond communication. The only one who might reach him is himself. Meanwhile, deep in the Arctic, the Fortress of Solitude began to awaken on its own. Crystals vibrated, projecting holographic streams of Kryptonian data into the air. The AI form of Jor-El appeared, analyzing the phenomenon. My son, the hologram whispered, you are becoming what our ancestors feared most, a being unbound by law, matter, or morality. The last son of Krypton may soon be the first god of all reality. Superman's voice echoed across frequencies, merging with thunder that had no clouds. I can hear you, Father, he said, though no signal had connected them. But I can't stop this. It's like every star is inside me, and they're all screaming to be free. The crack in space widened again, and this time something moved inside it. A silhouette that wasn't shaped by physics. It wasn't an alien or a creature, but a reflection. A mirrored version of Superman, shimmering like liquid glass, stepped forward. His eyes glowed darker, his expression colder. He spoke with the same voice, but a twisted echo. You've broken the balance, it said. The universe corrects itself through me. The duplicate floated closer, his energy the inverse of Superman's brilliance. For every burst of light from Superman, the double radiated shadow. Their forces met in silence, canceling each other out, leaving behind an eerie stillness. The stars dimmed. Even the sun seemed to flicker. Superman stared into the face of what could only be described as the embodiment of his unleashed energy, his reflection given consciousness by the universe itself. If you're me, Superman said, then you know why I can't stop. I do, the reflection replied. And that's why you must be contained. Without warning, the reflection lunged forward. Their collision didn't produce sound or explosion. It created silence so deep it erased the noise of existence. Around them, gravity fluctuated, bending planets like marbles. Earth's orbit shifted by a fraction of a degree, enough to trigger global tidal chaos. Massive storms erupted from nothing, and lightning cracked the upper atmosphere. In Metropolis, Lois Lane clung to the railing of the Daily Planet's rooftop, her heart pounding. She could see streaks of light dancing in the heavens, red, blue, and white flashes colliding faster than any human eye could follow. She whispered, "Clark, come back." Up above, Superman and his reflection fought across layers of dimension, phasing through realities like pages in a book. Every strike carried the force of supernovas, yet they were locked in perfect equilibrium. Neither could overpower the other. The reflection wasn't evil, it was correction, balance, the law of cosmic consequence. Superman realized the truth. The more he fought, the more energy he expended, and the stronger the reflection became. It was feeding off his output, turning his own power against him. "You can't exist without me," he shouted. "And you can't exist at full power without me," the reflection replied. "You are the cause, I am the consequence." Superman stopped mid-blow. His fists trembled. He closed his eyes, trying to think, but thoughts were dangerous now. They shaped reality. A single image of destruction could tear planets apart. He forced himself to focus on peace, on calm, on balance. For a moment, the reflection hesitated. Its form flickered. That hesitation was enough. Superman didn't attack, he reached out literally and mentally, trying to reintegrate the energy he had unleashed. But as his hands touched the reflection, a blinding surge erupted between them. The universe recoiled. Reality stretched like elastic, snapping across galaxies. The moon cracked, just a hairline fracture, but visible to the naked eye. Tides roared across Earth's coasts, and magnetic poles began to wander. The entire planet seemed to shift ever so slightly out of sync with time. Superman screamed, not in pain but in effort, as he pulled the reflection toward himself. The two forms began to merge, light and darkness spinning together like twin suns in collision. Energy spiraled outward, creating shock waves that bent the auroras into spirals. Then suddenly, stillness. The reflection was gone. The light dimmed. Superman floated motionless, his body steaming with pure radiation. His eyes were normal again, blue, calm, but distant, like someone staring through the veil of existence itself. From the moon station, silence followed. Instruments flatlined, cameras shorted out. Then faintly an image appeared, Superman drifting motionless, suspended between reality and something deeper. His voice crackled faintly through the void. It's not over. The universe is listening. Back on Earth, as the world regained balance, a strange phenomenon occurred. People began hearing faint whispers, snippets of thoughts that weren't their own. Dreams became more vivid, as if consciousness itself was expanding. Humanity had brushed against something greater, something cosmic, and it was now imprinted in their minds. Bruce's voice came through the emergency line. He's done it. He stabilized, but for how long? Diana looked skyward. No one controls power like that forever, she said quietly. And in orbit, Superman slowly turned his head toward Earth, his face unreadable, his aura faintly flickering. For the first time, the world's greatest protector didn't look entirely human. The boundaries were fading, and with them perhaps reality's tolerance for what he had become. The silence after the storm was almost worse than the chaos itself. The Earth hung eerily still beneath Superman, like a stunned organism unsure whether to breathe again. The oceans had settled, the skies were clearing, and yet, something was fundamentally off. Gravity no longer felt consistent. Time lagged in irregular pulses. In certain cities, clocks began to disagree. Seconds skipped, hours blurred. The world was working again, but not the same way it used to. And Superman could feel it in every fiber of his being. His body no longer hummed with the warmth of sunlight. It vibrated with something colder, sharper, a deeper frequency that resonated with the bones of the universe. He glanced down at his hands, expecting to see flesh, but saw light woven through skin like constellations beneath glass. He could sense the flow of atoms in the air, hear the faint hum of molecular vibration, and it terrified him. Power had always been his gift. Now, it felt like infection. As he hovered there, he realized something unthinkable. He couldn't hear his heartbeat. There was no sound, no rhythm, no pulse. He wasn't sure if he was breathing anymore. In that moment, Clark Kent, the man, felt like a distant echo trapped behind the god that had taken his place. The reflection he merged with wasn't gone. It was inside him, whispering through his thoughts, its voice as calm as it was unsettling. You wanted to see your full potential. Now you live in it. Superman's eyes flickered faintly. No, he murmured. I'm still in control. Are you? The voice replied. Every time you think, reality listens. Every emotion you feel bends the pattern. You don't control power like this. You become it. Below, in the watchtower orbiting Earth, the Justice League struggled to establish communication. Static filled every channel. Cyborg was working overtime, rerouting frequencies through dimensional stabilizers. He's not in our reality frequency anymore, he explained, sweat forming on his brow despite the cold metal around him. His molecular vibration shifted. He's still visible, but technically, he's phasing between timelines. Meaning? Flash asked, his voice tense. Meaning he's everywhere and nowhere, Cyborg replied. He's overlapping with every potential version of himself. Wonder Woman's jaw tightened. Then if he makes one wrong move, the universe could fracture permanently, Cyborg finished. They all turned to the main screen, where Superman's image floated like a silent beacon above Earth. He wasn't moving, but the light surrounding him shimmered like a heartbeat made of lightning. Bruce's voice came over comms from the Batcave. We need a containment protocol, something that can absorb or redirect his energy. There is no technology for that, Diana said firmly. He's not a being anymore. He's a state of existence. And then, before anyone could respond, Superman spoke. Not through speakers, not through comms, but directly into their minds. His voice was steady, resonant, and chillingly calm. I can hear you, all of you. Every thought, every fear. You're right. I'm not stable. But I can't stop yet. I need to finish what started. The watchtower lights dimmed as his presence rippled through its systems. For a fraction of a second, the AI core recognized him as the operating authority of the entire planet. His consciousness had merged with the global electromagnetic field. Every radio, every phone, every satellite was now a part of him. Humanity had unknowingly become his nervous system. On Earth, people looked up at the sky as their screens flickered with static that formed a faint symbol, the House of El Crest. It glowed for a few seconds and then disappeared. Across nations, people whispered his name like a prayer or a warning. Superman had transcended heroism. He had become omnipresent. But inside that godlike awareness, there was turmoil. Clark Kent, buried somewhere deep, was still fighting. He tried to focus on one voice. Lois. Her voice. Her heartbeat. The one frequency that had always grounded him. Lois. He whispered. Can you hear me? In Metropolis, Lois jolted awake from a restless sleep. Her phone buzzed, its screen glowing faintly before going black. She could hear him, not through sound, but through the rhythm of her thoughts. Clark, she whispered, terrified yet relieved. I'm here, the voice said, calm but fading in and out. I can't stay long. Everything's connected now. I see too much. Then stop, she begged. You don't have to prove anything. Come back to Earth. Come back to me. He paused. If I do, the energy could collapse. Reality could fold in on itself. I don't care about reality, she said, tears forming. I care about you. Her words echoed through him like sunlight cutting through fog. For a moment, the world flickered. Clouds stopped moving, the air stilled. Lois's voice had reached something beyond power. For the first time since the test began, Superman felt human again. The god hesitated, but the reflection within him spoke once more. Quieter now, but sharper. If you let emotion guide you, the universe burns. Superman's eyes hardened. Then I'll learn to balance both. He focused inward, redirecting the cosmic flow inside him. The energy that had been expanding outward began to fold back in. Space around him rippled as he tried to compress infinite force into a single physical form. The act defied every law of physics. His body glowed brighter, not from heat but from containment pressure. The stars dimmed again. Then came the scream, not from Superman but from the universe. A low resonant frequency that shook reality itself. Every sensor across the solar system detected it. It wasn't sound. It was rejection. Existence was pushing back. Superman strained against it, his jaw clenched, his aura blazing like a collapsing star. You will not erase me, he roared. The void around him convulsed, folding in spirals of energy that bent light itself into knots. On Earth, auroras erupted again, this time crimson and gold. People fell to their knees, overwhelmed by visions, flashes of worlds, alternate histories, other supermen, each one collapsing into light. Humanity was witnessing creation in reverse, the rewriting of potential realities through one man's struggle to stay whole. The power surged again, and for a moment Superman disappeared, just gone. No light, no sound, vanished. The world went dark for 3 seconds. Every machine stopped, every clock froze. It was as if the universe had blinked. Then suddenly, light exploded across the sky. Superman reappeared, but different. His cape was gone. His suit shimmered like molten metal, shifting between colors that didn't exist on the visible spectrum. His voice echoed through the minds of billions, resonant and calm. The test isn't over. I've only just begun to understand what 100% really means. His eyes glowed, but softer now. not burning with rage or chaos, but with something far more dangerous: clarity. The Earth was no longer the same blue sphere it had been hours before. The ionosphere shimmered faintly with residual radiation that wasn't natural. Even from space, you could see it, a halo of cosmic color surrounding the planet like the afterimage of a dying star. Every scientist who tried to explain it eventually stopped talking, realizing that what they were witnessing didn't belong in equations. Superman's test had crossed into a domain that defied language itself. High above, he floated in silence, his form both tangible and translucent. His body no longer obeyed the boundaries of physical mass. He was energy compressed into the idea of flesh. Every motion he made carried ripples across space-time that resonated for miles. Yet despite the incomprehensible power within him, there was calm in his face, an unsettling serenity, as if he'd finally understood what humanity could never grasp. Down below, chaos continued quietly. Governments issued emergency statements claiming the situation was under control, but no one believed them. Tidal anomalies had shifted coastlines by inches, enough to flood entire neighborhoods. Birds migrated in circles. Magnetic compasses pointed toward the sun. And in certain places, people began reporting strange experiences, hearing whispers and static, seeing symbols flash in lightning, feeling warmth in their chest when they thought of hope. The world was beginning to synchronize with Superman's frequency. In the watchtower, cyborg systems were still flickering in and out. "Every network is connecting to him automatically," he said, scanning his readouts. "He's not just using the data, he's rewriting it. Every signal, every code, every field, it's harmonizing around him." "Meaning?" Flash asked again, nervous but fascinated. "Meaning he's becoming the operating system of the planet," Cyborg said. "Earth's electromagnetic signature is him." Diana's brow furrowed. "Then he's not just in control, he is control." Bruce didn't respond right away. He was running calculations faster than his computers could process. If this continues, he'll overwrite the natural laws themselves. He won't just be Superman, he'll be the new physics. Back in orbit, Superman opened his eyes, and suddenly, he wasn't looking at Earth as a planet anymore. He was seeing every living being as a pulse of light, billions of flickering souls connected by invisible threads. The collective heartbeat of humanity thrummed through his mind like a symphony of existence. And for the first time, he realized this was what absolute power truly meant. Not destruction, not dominance. Awareness. But awareness is heavy. His voice echoed through the sky like wind through glass, calm yet resonant. "I can see it all. Every fear. Every dream. Every version of what could have been. The world is fragile, but it's beautiful. It always was." The reflection's voice stirred faintly in the back of his consciousness. Beauty fades when you hold it too tightly. Let go before it turns to chaos again. Superman clenched his fists. "I won't let go. I'll understand it." He extended his arm slightly, and the air around him folded inward like liquid light. In that instant, he tapped deeper into the energy than ever before. He could feel the gravitational pull of galaxies, the hum of cosmic radiation, even the faint song of the atoms composing his body. Every star's heartbeat echoed within him, and his mind expanded to contain it all. The Earth's magnetic poles shifted again, but this time it wasn't random. It was rhythmic, pulsing in sync with his energy field. Unknown to him, the planet itself had begun to adapt. The atmosphere was resonating to his power, stabilizing, evolving. But with adaptation came mutation. On the surface, people began to change, not physically, but perceptually. Some could suddenly sense emotions not their own. Others saw glimpses of places they'd never been, moments that hadn't happened yet. The line between consciousness and cosmos was thinning, and it was all because Superman had become a bridge between the two. Lois was one of the first to feel it. She stood on her balcony in Metropolis, eyes locked on the faint glow in the upper atmosphere. The air around her felt charged, electric, alive. For a moment, she heard voices, children laughing, waves crashing, 1,000 lives happening at once. Then faintly she heard him again. "Lois," the voice whispered, gentle but vast. She closed her eyes. "Clark, you're scaring everyone. You're scaring me." "I know," he said, "but this is the only way to know how far I can go without breaking the world." "Then stop going," she pleaded. "You're already beyond anything. You've proved your point." Superman's gaze softened, though she couldn't see it. "This isn't about proving. It's about preparing. Something is coming. I can feel it. Something greater than any of us. And if I can't master this now, humanity won't survive it." Her breath caught. "What are you talking about?" But before he could answer, the reflection's voice spoke through him again, this time louder, almost impatient. "You're not preparing for anything. You're creating it. Every surge, every thought, reality obeys. You are summoning what you fear." Superman froze. The energy around him wavered. "No," he whispered. "That's not possible." "Isn't it?" the voice replied. "You wanted to test the limits. The universe responds to will. You've shown it what limitless looks like. Now it's echoing you." And then the first echo arrived. In deep space, far beyond Neptune, an object appeared. Something not natural, not sent, but manifested. A sphere of light the size of a small moon, pulsing with the same energy signature as Superman himself. Observatories on Earth barely caught it before their systems fried from radiation overload. Cyborg's alarms went off instantly. "Something's forming out there," he said, his voice shaking. "Same quantum frequency as Superman. Identical." Bruce's eyes went cold. "Then he's duplicated his essence. The universe is mirroring him again." Superman turned his gaze outward, eyes narrowing. "It's not a reflection," he said. "It's an answer." The sphere pulsed once, twice, and then unfolded into something vast and blinding, an entity of light and geometry, both beautiful and horrifying. It had no face, no shape, yet it radiated presence. It wasn't attacking, not yet. It was looking at him, as if the universe itself had crafted a guardian, or a challenger. Superman felt it studying him, like a reflection staring back from another reality. His instincts flared. The last time he had faced his mirror, he nearly destroyed existence. But this wasn't born from imbalance. It was born from the universe's need for balance. He spoke quietly, but the words echoed across the cosmos. "You don't need to exist. I can contain this." The entity's voice wasn't a sound. It was vibration, thought, and inevitability. Containment is illusion. Equilibrium demands opposition. Superman's aura flared, golden and crimson intertwining around him like fire and lightning. "Then I'll rewrite equilibrium." The entity pulsed again, and space bent violently. Galaxies and distant telescopes flickered as though time had tripped. The confrontation had begun, not a battle of fists, but of forces too vast for comprehension. Superman moved first, streaking forward at speeds beyond measure. Every motion shattered light itself, sending shockwaves that rippled through dimensions. The entity countered with pure geometry, folding space around him. What followed wasn't combat. It was the rewriting of cosmic law. Reality screamed, but the duel continued, unseen yet felt everywhere. Back on Earth, people began to dream in synchronization. Every mind sensing the confrontation through the bond Superman had unknowingly created. Every heart pounded in unison with the echoes of a fight that could decide the shape of reality itself. And far above, locked in battle with his cosmic counterpart, Superman finally realized this wasn't a test anymore. This was judgment. The tremor that followed was unlike anything the world had ever felt. Not the vibration of tectonic plates or collapsing cities, but the trembling of reality itself, bending around Superman's unleashed energy. The very air seemed to scream. Across the world, people froze mid-step. The ocean bulged outward from the planet like a living thing trying to flee its own skin. Clouds were ripped apart and reformed in patterns no meteorologist could describe. Superman stood at the center of it all, motionless, his eyes dim yet infinite, as if every galaxy had found reflection within them. This was not power anymore. It was creation and destruction colliding. And yet somehow there was no explosion, only silence. A silence so deep that every heartbeat on Earth paused in synchronization with his. Time had begun to fold. Light fractured around him in slow waves, revealing glimpses of parallel timelines flickering like broken mirrors. In one, humanity stood in awe. In another, they fled underground, their faces twisted in terror. Lex Luthor's satellites recorded data that made no sense, measurements surpassing even theoretical infinity. The readings simply broke, flatlining into meaningless noise. The world's smartest minds, Bruce Wayne among them, watched as every system monitoring Superman failed one by one. It wasn't an attack. It wasn't an explosion. It was as though the universe itself had reached a computational limit, trying to process his existence at full power. Inside Superman's mind, there was no sound, no sight, only awareness. He could feel the consciousness of every living thing, the pulse of every planet, the hum of cosmic background radiation whispering secrets of existence. He wasn't seeing atoms anymore. He was feeling their intent. Every motion, every vibration of quarks and photons seemed familiar, like pieces of a song he had always known but never heard completely. He realized this was what his body was always holding back, a harmony between godhood and collapse. But now, unrestrained, he wasn't sure if he could hold himself together. The boundary between Clark Kent and Superman had dissolved. There was no duality, no disguise, only raw awareness staring at its own infinite reflection. On Earth, news anchors broke down mid-broadcast as electromagnetic interference swallowed their signals. The auroras stretched past the poles, painting entire continents in green fire. Gravity waves knocked satellites from orbit, their metal shells igniting as they fell. Yet somehow amid the chaos, humanity didn't die. The world was not destroyed, it was merely paused. People found themselves unable to move, speak, or even blink, like reality had been put on hold by something too vast to process. And in that suspension, every person experienced a glimpse of his mind. They saw, for a fraction of eternity, what it meant to care for everyone, to bear the weight of protecting not just a city or a planet, but existence itself. For the first time, humanity felt the loneliness behind the symbol of hope. Then it all stopped. A deep exhale echoed across the cosmos, though no air had been expelled. The oceans settled. The stars blinked back into fixed positions. Superman floated above a craterless metropolis, perfectly calm, though his cape no longer moved. There was no wind. The sky was clear, unnaturally clear, as if all imperfections had been wiped away. Lois Lane, standing miles away, called his name into a microphone that wasn't connected to anything anymore. He turned his gaze toward her, and the faintest trace of a smile flickered. Reality had stabilized, but it was different now. Subtle differences. The curvature of the planet was off by fractions of a millimeter. The moon's orbit had shifted slightly closer, and in every human heart something had changed, a deeper empathy, a strange understanding that couldn't be explained, but could be felt. Superman's moment of 100% power had rewritten not matter, but meaning. Scientists would later claim that during that fraction of eternity, the universe's entropy had reversed for a measurable instant. Some theorized Superman had tapped into the source, the cosmic code that governs all creation. Others argued he had briefly stepped outside existence entirely and returned by choice. But for Clark, the truth was simpler. He had seen what it truly meant to hold power beyond limit, and he had chosen restraint. He understood now that his strength wasn't a gift to be used, but a burden to protect others from. For the first time, he was afraid, not of enemies or gods, but of himself. That fear, paradoxically, was what anchored him back to humanity. It was what kept him real. Weeks passed, and the world adapted to its new subtle equilibrium. Energy levels across the planet seemed slightly more stable. Crops grew faster, the ozone layer repaired at unprecedented rates, and diseases began mutating in reverse, reverting to weaker forms. It was as if Superman's brief unshackling had reset nature's rhythm. People began calling it the moment of balance. The churches, temples, and scientific institutions alike debated its meaning. Some saw it as divine intervention, others a cosmic accident. But deep down, humanity knew they had survived something that should have ended them. And at the center of it all was one man who had dared to test the edge of reality. One night, as Clark stood at the edge of the Arctic staring at the stars, a voice echoed behind him, soft but ancient, carrying the resonance of universes beyond his own. "You touched the fabric," the voice said. He turned to see a glowing figure, neither male nor female, neither light nor shadow. Few have done so and returned whole. Superman didn't answer. He simply nodded. He knew what it was. The source, the whisper of existence acknowledging his presence. The figure continued. "Now you understand the truth. Power cannot be measured in strength, but in restraint." And just like that, the figure vanished, leaving behind only silence and the cold wind. Superman exhaled, not in relief but in acceptance. He had seen the edge and he had chosen to step back. Somewhere, beyond the stars, reality was still rippling from his test, but Earth was safe. Humanity would continue. He looked down at his hands, ordinary, human, steady, and smiled faintly. Perhaps this was the real test all along. Not how much power he could use, but how much he could choose not to. And yet, somewhere in the cosmic data left behind, deep in a classified NASA archive, an anomaly kept reappearing. A faint energy signature, unlike any known radiation, continued to pulse every few seconds, as though the universe itself was still echoing his heartbeat. A reminder that once, for a single timeless moment, Superman had gone beyond power. He had become the power itself. Would he ever reach that point again? No one knew. Maybe he wouldn't dare. Maybe he shouldn't. Because when Superman hit 100%, reality itself blinked, and for that moment, everything else forgot how to exist. The anomaly didn't fade. Weeks turned into months, and yet the signal persisted, steady, rhythmic, like a cosmic pulse echoing from nowhere and everywhere at once. It wasn't visible to the naked eye, but sensitive instruments across the world, from the Hubble replacement in orbit to secret installations buried deep in the Andes, picked it up. It was faint, almost like a heartbeat, repeating every 8 seconds. The world called it the Superman Pulse. Scientists argued endlessly about its origin. Was it an aftershock of the power surge, a side effect of quantum field distortion, or had Superman left behind a fragment of himself, resonating between dimensions? No one had an answer, but something about it felt alive, watchful. Superman himself avoided the topic. He had become quieter since that day. He still helped where he could, stopping disasters, saving lives, but he seemed slower, thoughtful. There were moments when he'd pause mid-air, eyes unfocused, like he was listening to something far away. Batman noticed it first. "You're holding back," Bruce told him one night atop the watchtower's observation deck. "Not like before. You're afraid." Superman didn't deny it. "You didn't see it, Bruce," he replied softly. "I saw everything, every timeline, every possible version of us, every ending." His voice was low, almost a whisper. "And in most of them, I'm not the hero. I'm the mistake." Bruce didn't argue. For once, he had no words. He'd seen the readings himself, machines fried by trying to quantify what Superman had become for those few seconds. There was no metric, no containment. He understood what his friend was carrying, the weight of omnipotence. "You're still human where it counts," Batman finally said. "That's what keeps you from crossing the line." Superman looked at him, a faint, weary smile tugging at his lips. "Maybe, but the line isn't where it used to be." Around the globe, small anomalies began to occur. Tiny, seemingly unrelated events that, when viewed together, painted a strange picture. Clocks in certain areas ran slightly faster or slower. Birds migrated out of season. The northern lights appeared in places far from the poles. Every 8 seconds, sensitive instruments detected a brief drop in local gravity, like the Earth itself exhaled in rhythm with the pulse. Governments began quietly collaborating, forming what they called the Unified Reality Task Force, a coalition meant to study post-event phenomena. They called Superman in for questioning, not to accuse, but to understand. Sitting before a panel of physicists and generals, Superman felt more alien than ever. They bombarded him with questions. Did he remember the moment? Could he replicate it? Was it possible that his power was now linked to the very fabric of existence? If I could answer that, he said calmly, we wouldn't be here. A general leaned forward, his voice hard. Then what happens if it happens again? Superman met his gaze without blinking. Then hope you never find out. Meanwhile, far beyond Earth's orbit, something stirred. A ripple in space, faint but growing. The same pulse that scientists were detecting began resonating in the void, spreading like a beacon. Across the cosmos, ancient beings, guardians, conquerors, watchers, turned their gaze toward Earth. Something had changed. The laws that bound the universe had momentarily fractured, and that fracture had not healed completely. The source wall, once impenetrable, shimmered with cracks no one had ever seen before. It was as if Superman's power test had reached beyond the visible universe and whispered, "It's possible." In Metropolis, life moved on. The city rebuilt as it always did, resilient and hopeful. But people began reporting strange phenomena, dreams of floating cities, flashes of distant galaxies, voices whispering names they didn't know. Psychologists dismissed it as collective trauma, a kind of mass residual shock from witnessing the impossible. But deep underground, in the Batcave, Bruce and Cyborg had different data. They'd detected quantum echoes, fragments of memory not from this timeline. He didn't just test his power, Cyborg said grimly. He overlapped realities. We're seeing the bleed. Superman visited them soon after, drawn by the same unease. Bruce showed him the readings, multiple overlapping time signatures, faint but undeniable. When you hit 100%, you broke containment, Bruce said. You didn't just exist here, you existed everywhere. Superman stared at the glowing screens, his jaw tightening. If that's true, he said quietly, then I've endangered everything. But Bruce shook his head. You also saved everything. It's the same coin, Clark. You just flipped it too hard. Days later, the pulse changed. Instead of 8 seconds, it shortened to 7. Across the globe, instruments went wild. The air thickened with static. People felt it, like a vibration under their skin. The pulse wasn't fading. It was accelerating. Superman flew into the stratosphere trying to sense its source, but the further he went, the more disoriented he became. The energy was coming from within him, like an echo that refused to die. It's not me, he whispered to himself. It's what I touched. And then, for the briefest moment, he saw it again, the layer beyond reality. The same blinding lattice of energy he'd encountered before, the framework of existence itself. But this time, something was different. The lattice was unstable, quivering like glass under pressure. Cracks spread through it, and through those cracks he saw something moving, watching, waiting. A shape beyond comprehension, a shadow in the light. It wasn't evil, but it wasn't benign either. It was curiosity made conscious. Whatever it was, it had noticed him during his test, and now it was reaching back. Superman fell back to Earth like a meteor, landing in the desert with a thunderous crash. The sand around him crystallized from the heat of re-entry. He knelt, breathing heavily, gripping the earth to anchor himself. His mind was a storm of images, glimpses of timelines, of futures undone, of worlds collapsing under the same power he had wielded. The pulse continued, faster now, louder, as if calling him to finish what he started. He closed his eyes, whispering a single sentence that the wind carried into the night. Maybe reality isn't breaking. Maybe it's evolving. And for the first time since that fateful day, Superman wasn't sure whether his 100% power had saved the universe or awakened it. The sky was trembling, not in color, not in sound, but in essence. People didn't notice it right away, but the more sensitive ones, children, animals, empaths, started reacting first. Dogs barked toward the heavens for no visible reason. Birds flew in spirals, refusing to land. Infants cried in perfect unison at random hours. The pulse that had once been subtle now thundered through existence, vibrating in the bones of the planet. Humanity didn't have words for it, but Superman did. He could feel it under his skin, resonating in every atom of his body. The universe was answering him. Something ancient had stirred, and it was approaching fast. He stood in the middle of the desert again, the same place he had landed days earlier. Sand stretched endlessly, but above him, the stars were wrong. Constellations shifted imperceptibly, their positions flickering like a broken projection. "It's folding," he murmured, realizing the sky wasn't changing, the dimension was. He could feel it, the way one might feel the pressure drop before a storm. The pulse wasn't just a signal anymore, it was a door, and something was walking through. Back in Metropolis, alarms blared across the watchtower's command screens. Batman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg stood frozen as readings spiked beyond measurable limits. "Energy density is climbing past the Omega threshold," Cyborg shouted. "It's rewriting spatial constants." Batman's voice was sharp, clipped. "Get everyone off Earth, now." But even as he said it, they knew it was too late. The energy field expanded faster than light. The sky tore open, not in fire or destruction, but in silence. A void of pure white, impossibly bright yet casting no shadow, bloomed over the planet. People looked up, unable to comprehend what they were seeing. Some thought it was divine. Others thought it was the end. Superman felt it before he saw it. The hum of consciousness older than time. It spoke without words directly into his being. You reached beyond your limit. You touched what was not meant to be touched. Its tone was not angry, just curious. Now you must see what you have become. The white void rippled, and from within it stepped a figure, a perfect reflection of Superman himself, yet hollow-eyed, shimmering with translucent light. It wasn't a clone or a ghost. It was the residue of his unleashed power, molded by the universe into sentience, the embodiment of 100%. The figure stared at him, its voice echoing with layered tones of countless versions of himself. "You wanted to test your power. Now you are your test." Superman tensed, ready for battle. But the figure didn't attack. Instead, it extended a hand. "You don't understand what you did. You didn't break the world, Clark. You awakened it. Every atom remembers you. Every particle vibrates to your frequency now. You're no longer just part of reality. You're its heartbeat." Superman hesitated, his mind racing. If that's true, then why is everything unraveling? The being tilted its head. Because reality was never meant to have a pulse. You gave it one, and now it's learning how to breathe. The words hit him like thunder. He wasn't witnessing the end of the universe, it was evolution. Existence itself was adjusting to what he had done. The pulse wasn't decay, it was awakening. But evolution comes with chaos. Around the globe, physics began to distort in small, terrifying ways. Oceans rose vertically like walls before crashing down. Time dilated unpredictably. An hour in one city was a minute in another. People reported seeing echoes of themselves like time-lapse ghosts repeating movements seconds before they happened. The world was fragmenting into possibilities, struggling to stabilize. Superman soared across continents, sealing rifts with his heat vision, realigning molecular bonds with sheer force of will. But every action he took seemed to multiply the anomalies. He was part of the cause now, and the universe wouldn't heal until he understood how to stop being what it had made him. In the watchtower, Bruce's voice crackled through comms, urgent. "Clark, listen to me. Whatever that pulse is, it's synchronized with your biofield. You're the key, not the trigger. If it collapses, so do you. But if you stabilize it, Then I stabilized the universe, Mao. Superman finished. He didn't wait for confirmation. The world around him was too fragile for hesitation. He flew higher, beyond the clouds, beyond the blue, into the black silence of space. The pulse grew louder. He could feel it now, like millions of heartbeats in harmony, vibrating through stars, through time. It wasn't destruction. It was communication. He reached orbit, hovering in the glow of Earth below, and closed his eyes. The figure, the echo of his 100% form, appeared again, now translucent and fading. You can't fight it, Clark. You have to merge with it. Superman's jaw tightened. If I do, will it stop? The echo smiled faintly. No, but it will live with you, not through you. That's the difference between a god and a guardian. He took a deep breath. Then let's finish this. In that moment, Superman did something no one could ever truly comprehend. He didn't release power, he absorbed it. The pulse, the anomalies, the distortion. He drew it all inward, like inhaling the universe itself. The energy roared through him, bending his body, fracturing his cells, but he didn't stop. His skin shimmered like glass catching a billion suns. Across the world, time steadied. The oceans calmed. The pulse faded to a whisper. For one blinding instant, Superman became light, pure, unfiltered existence, and then, just as suddenly he was gone, the world froze. Silence. No sound. No movement. And then gently the wind returned. Birds sang. Clouds drifted. Humanity exhaled. The pulse was gone. But far above Earth, where light becomes thought and sound becomes memory, a faint glow lingered. A silhouette of a man suspended in cosmic stillness. He wasn't dead. He wasn't gone. He had become something in between, a bridge, a balance. And from somewhere beyond time, a voice whispered softly, not to him, but to everyone. He didn't leave. He became the heartbeat of everything that lives. There was no sunrise the next morning, just a slow bloom of color that spread across the sky like liquid gold. It wasn't light from the sun exactly, but something deeper, softer, more alive. People in every corner of the world looked up, feeling it before they understood it. There was a weight in the air, a hum under the surface of everything. Radios picked up faint static patterns that pulsed like a heartbeat. The oceans glowed faintly at night, waves rippling with bioluminescent light that scientists couldn't explain. The world had changed again, but this time it wasn't chaos. It was calm. For the first time since Superman vanished, the Earth felt balanced. Lois Lane stood on the roof of the Daily Planet, clutching the railing, eyes scanning the horizon. For weeks, she'd waited. Every night, every dawn, hoping for a streak of red in the clouds, a flash of blue against the skyline. But he hadn't returned, not in any form she could see. The world had mourned him quietly, not with grief, but with reverence. Statues went up in every capital. Nations once divided found common ground in rebuilding what had been shaken. It was as if his presence, even in absence, had rewritten the emotional DNA of humanity. People were kinder, more patient, more connected. Somehow, Superman had left behind not a vacuum, but harmony. But Lois couldn't accept peace without answers. One night, while reviewing satellite data from an old NASA contact, she noticed something impossible. A faint energy pattern orbiting just beyond the exosphere. It wasn't a satellite, wasn't a meteor. It was the same frequency as the pulse, but stable now, controlled. A heartbeat in space. Her breath caught. She knew that signature. Without hesitation, she contacted Bruce Wayne. "He's not gone," she said, her voice trembling with conviction. "He's up there." Bruce didn't argue. He'd seen it too. He'd known for weeks but hadn't told anyone, because he wasn't sure if it was Superman or something else entirely. "The readings are consistent," he admitted, his tone low and measured. "But if that's him, Lois, he's not the same." She didn't care. "Then we bring him home." The Justice League assembled for what would become the most delicate mission in history. Not a rescue, but a reunion. Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern joined forces, tracing the pulse to its source. When they arrived, they found it. A sphere of radiant energy suspended above the planet, alive with color and sound that no human sense could fully perceive. It wasn't just glowing, it was breathing. Every few seconds it expanded and contracted rhythmically, like a lung made of light. At its core floated a figure, motionless, serene, wrapped in ribbons of energy that seemed to whisper with every pulse. Superman. They couldn't approach directly. The energy field distorted space itself. Every time Lantern's constructs neared, they dissolved into golden dust. Flash tried vibrating through it and was thrown back, trembling with a mix of awe and fear. "He's not just inside it," Flash said quietly. "He is it." Diana placed a hand on the barrier, her expression soft. "Kal-El," she said, her voice steady but trembling. "Can you hear us?" For a moment, nothing happened. Then, faintly, the light shifted, the hum deepened, and a voice, not through speakers, not through air, but directly in their minds, spoke. "I hear you." It was unmistakably him, warm, steady, but layered with something vast and ageless beneath. "Clark," Lois shouted from the communication feed. "You have to come back. The world needs you." There was silence, and then he replied gently, "The world doesn't need me anymore, Lois." It finally learned to stand. Tears welled in her eyes. "Then what are you now?" He hesitated, as if searching for words that didn't yet exist. "I'm what comes after power," he said finally. "When the universe nearly broke, I saw it for what it truly was. Not a machine, not a creation, but a living thing. It was dying because it didn't know how to breathe. I taught it. Now it breathes through me." Bruce's voice cut through the comms. "If you stay like this, you'll lose yourself." Superman smiled faintly. "Maybe that's what it takes to save everything." The light around him pulsed brighter. "You once told me, Bruce, that power without control is destruction. You were right. But there's another truth. Control without purpose is emptiness. I've found my purpose." Diana clenched her jaw. "You can't save existence by erasing yourself." "I'm not erasing," he whispered. "I'm becoming." For a moment, the entire cosmos seemed to pause. The sphere pulsed once, twice, and then expanded outward, engulfing the League. They braced for impact, but there was no pain, no heat, no sound. Instead, they found themselves standing on a vast field of stars, surrounded by light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Superman stood before them, not as a god, not as an illusion, but as himself. His cape moved in waves that seemed to ripple through time. He smiled at his friends, every feature illuminated with warmth. "You taught me what it means to be human," he said. "Now I'll make sure humanity always has a universe to call home." Lois stepped forward, tears glistening. "You always said you were a symbol of hope," she said softly. "But you were wrong. You were the seed of it." He reached out, brushing her cheek gently with a hand that shimmered like starlight. Then let it grow. With that, his form began to dissolve, not into nothingness, but into everything. His body unraveled into streams of light that flowed upward, merging with the stars, with the void, with the pulse. The field of energy contracted, then burst silently into the cosmos, scattering golden threads across space. And then, he was gone. The League floated in silence, the vast expanse before them now glittering with countless faint golden streaks, traces of his energy, drifting like cosmic fireflies. They watched, stunned, until the comms crackled softly. It was Lois. "What happened?" Bruce's voice, rough and quiet, came through. He kept his promise. Months later, humanity began to notice small miracles. Flowers blooming in dead soil, planets aligning more perfectly than in recorded history, a faint protective field around Earth that deflected cosmic radiation. The pulse didn't vanish. It became the background rhythm of existence, subtle, eternal. Scientists stopped trying to explain it. People simply called it the Superman frequency. Lois still visited the roof every night. Sometimes she swore she could feel warmth in the wind, as if someone was listening. "You said hope never dies," she whispered one night, her voice trembling but full of peace. "Guess you were right." Somewhere far beyond galaxies, where light meets thought and thought becomes matter, a ripple passed through the void, a soft, rhythmic thrum, steady and alive. And in that rhythm, a voice echoed faintly, carried by the pulse of reality itself. "I'm always here." The stars shimmered in reply, brighter than ever before, as the universe, now breathing with its new heartbeat, continued on. The Superman frequency never stopped. It became the sound of existence itself.